Gamesweasel.
Red Faction Guerilla's out next week, and if you're looking forward to it, here's how the game's shaping up.
Hi, I'm Shaun Kennedy. I'm an associate producer at Volition, working on Red Faction Guerilla. Red Faction Guerilla is actually the sequel to Red Faction 1. It picks up 50 years after the events of the first game. In Red Faction 1, you played as a miner, and there was a corporation called Ultor, and they were basically abusing all the miners, and to the point that they formed the Red Faction, rose up against them, and by the end of the game, the Earth Defense Force came in and helped the Red Faction overthrow Ultor. Now, 50 years later, the EDF have stayed on the planet, and they've gone from being the liberators of Mars to the new oppressors. And the EDF want complete control of Mars. They want all of its resources. It's in their best interest to control the people, so the whole world now is under martial law. In the first two games, they were both first-person shooters set in corridors. The new Red Faction is actually third-person open world. And the reason we did that was because of the new destruction engine, Geomod 2.0. And the first two games, we had Geomod 1.0, which basically revolved around terrain deformation, digging through terrain. After doing two games like that, we knew we didn't just want to repeat ourselves again. So we waited for technology to catch up and let us do what we really wanted to do, completely destructive environments. So everything you see in the game that's man-made, you can destroy. And with that level of destruction and the freedom that gives you, it only made sense to take the game and move it into an open world. Everything in the world can be destroyed. Destruction becomes a big part of the gameplay. So all the missions, activities, pretty much everything you do in the world encourages destruction. So you need to learn how to use it strategically. So in the very beginning of the game, you're immediately shown what your tools of destruction are, and as you play, you'll get more and more of them. And you'll find that to be successful in anything you do, you want to use destruction. So, like you said, if there was a sniper on top of a building, maybe you can't get into that building. You want to find a new way, blast it, a hole into the side of it, go up. Maybe guys are coming in after you, blow out the stairs, get up to the top, still can't get to the roof, throw some charges on the ceiling, take out that sniper from inside the building with destruction. The switch from first person to third person was obviously one of the bigger changes in the game, and the reason for that change actually goes back to the destruction system. We've spent that many years creating this destruction system like no one's ever seen before. When you're in game, you need to be able to actually see destruction. So actually early in development, Red Faction Guerilla was in first person. But what would happen is you'd be inside of a building and you'd cause destruction. Pieces would start falling down, but you couldn't see them. So you spent a lot of time dying from stuff that you couldn't see. And if that didn't happen, you'd be running away and you wouldn't see this destruction that you just caused. So just as an experiment, we pulled the camera out to see what difference that made, and it was a night and day change. And it was one of those things where there were people on the team who felt that it should stay first person, but as soon as they saw that, there was no going back. It just made a much better game. Multiplayer is a big part of Red Faction Guerilla. We do offer a very robust multiplayer package. 16 players, it has the full destruction system from the single player game, and on top of that, with destruction in multiplayer, it redefines what people usually would expect from multiplayer. So even though we have modes that you'll find in a Call of Duty or another game, like Deathmatch or Team Deathmatch, which we call Anarchy and Team Anarchy, when you apply destruction to that, it totally changes the face of multiplayer. We expect to have a pretty big community. I mean, there's still a community of people who play Red Faction 1 and 2 on the PC, so we've made a point to make sure this will be something that anyone who was a fan of those will love, plus be able to bring in new people.
And there'll be a full review in a couple of weeks. You've been watching a review from Gamesweasel. If you want to get the show each week, which includes video game reviews, news, previews, competitions and special features, then head over to Gamesweasel.com for our video podcast, Gamesweasel TV.
Gamesweasel.com